cat countdown. We're at t plus time times and half a time, aka 3.5 days since the finale drop, final broadcast, all systems shutting down. And time to read the scrolls, studying the book of Moot, referenced earlier, all these works of wisdom, the toils for naught and nill that have been a necessary chore in the grand iteration of all things. It's always a retrospect time, and I do like to document every process that unfolds for whomever it may concern, if not for these generations, perhaps future generations, or perhaps no one at all, but you know, just a thing to do. It's a culture I've evolved in to keep track of all things, make sure you can back reference what you have done, full retrospect, recollection capacity. The other day I took a look at the Go Omega Wisdom Surfer reels from some proper batshit crazy material from the beta or alpha version of this finale from 2011 eras, when I wrapped up the whole systemic spirituality endeavor. And seeing all that I had said and done and published, and how I then rained fire and brimstone and flooded it all, looking upon my works, the toils, it's a good thing to do. It's informative, and so I've taken matching recordings, scrolls, reels from the major platforms of operation from the final week or so, anyways, across the road here. Then cracking open the big little book of Moot as it has rolled out at different platforms with these publishers of Babylon. I scrolled, I saw what has been said, what the engagement has been, what the reflections have been, from YouTube to Instagram to Threads to Facebook. I'll drop those as a separate little compilation. This is the director's commentary, right? So the amount of actual response from the people out there is in reflection of the mootness of the grand moot, right? Where anything YouTube, right? Anything typically of a longer form crossing the 3-minute threshold, even if it sits there for a month, going to get 1 or 2 views, probably 0.1 likes, comments, you wish. No one actually registers or interacts. And then shorts, they are always pushed for a broader audience, even though there they often just don't leave the launch pad. Also, the algorithm really does not trust my works. I am a supply chain hazard. People may go away, leave the platform, stop the dopamine race, and start contemplating if they actually attend to what has been said, right? So, yeah, no matter as it may. So that's the short version of what one has on YouTube. Then Instagram, okay, there's a bit more of a interaction there. People are actually liking, and but like as far as actually watching, not really. Not really. I mean, it's the same thing on YouTube. There's I've been pushing the shorter versions on. Hey, yeah. pushing the shorter versions at kernel drops, the 1 minute cuts. And so there was one that once again went into the hundreds from the oh how I wish series with a more serious sort of message for all of humanity to contemplate, look into their hearts and reflect on their truths, right? And whatever it was at 350 views. And there was some other fellow, a social media promoter on Threads, struck me as a thing to observe. He posted a picture of 100 people in a crowd, in a group, assembling. And he said how our perception is distorted. You do not, when you get 100 views on your creation, this is what 100 people looks like. Right? Yeah, that's 100 people who are actually in one place together and in for something. It's not 100 people who swiped by with an average watch time of 5 seconds out of 1 minute. That's a very different thing. Those 350 people, if they spent a cumulative total of 15 minutes on 1 minute out of the possible whatever hours that it would be if people actually attended to the fullness of what's being said in all of its brevity, that might be different, but as it is, all these numbers are utterly meaningless. The only thing that really matters, like at all, is how many people watched from the beginning to the end. Those are the people who actually attended and on some level resonated and kept with what is being shared in one or the other chapter or page of the book of Moot. So that's that. Then other observations, because it was spontaneously formed, but a well orchestrated in nature's course by thy heavenly will or whatever, as in terms of the emergent potentials, the sequencing as it happens, as it naturally follows. We had certain milestones. There was on the T-3 day, we had the from clear takes and oh how I wish the concentrated 3-minute kernels on attending to the what is of objective reality and the trouble we have in fixing the world into a better place for the collective. All very, very core concerns, considerations for both the individual and humanity as a whole. And where I dropped, here's the gist of anything that I ever really wanted to share, and the rest of it follows if it is digested. Please take your 3 minutes, have a see where it goes. See what you get out of it. Does it resonate? As in, please be present here. This is from the core of what I've been working for the last year or so in sharing, and even with such an empathic plead, when the engagement, like no one gives the first shit, right, basically, and that's the measure of that, then okay, you have all spoken your this little representative sample on different platforms, and where it's not one scenario, it's when these things are happening on four fronts with some diversification in the audiences, and they all say the same, as in they pass, not my problem, not my concern. Then, that's that. The mootness has been sealed. And then onward into the swan songs, if you will. The T-1 drops. With the first one being with the Anna G, Swim, Elder Flower C, and the Wizard G having their great get-together before the holidays, and the sort of ominous edition of the things shutting down, it's a wrap. And for all the wisdom and merriment that went into it, I had an excellent time recording that. It was a riot at 4.5 minutes, not also so very long, but you know, not really any, doesn't ring any bells, lift any eyebrows. And then that was followed by the straight and direct path from 4 angles, from Al-Quran, Islamic angle, from Buddha, the dharmic angle, another dharmic angle from the Bhagavad Gita, and from Amen, the true witness, from the Gospels. And there would have been more to drop into it, but that was a sufficient measure into the path of true objective unification, the perspective that we all find at the bottom of all things when our veilings are lifted and shattered, that heals and reconciles both the individual and the collective. And the words that are the words of the words that people knowing their symbols and prophecies would recognize as reflective of something deep and necessary, that at the 7 minutes length, a very well-rounded presentation of the path of purification, of the closeness to God, of being and becoming, and all in very clear, unambiguous terms, patiently presented in a well-rounded manner. And yeah, there's even though that objectively has not been said as such, right? But no, it does not register as anything at all. And that was also expected. But it was a necessary milestone in the grand scheme of things to say it all, the words that have been expected to be heard, and to recognize that there is no hearing left in the world to hear those words in the random sampling arenas that we have, which in all likelihood is highly representative of humanity as a whole. So that was the T-1, and so I looked at the tallies across the platforms, what's happening, and you know, Moot. Then straight on to the final words, the last drop, the dusk has set on present generations. There is the end of this, the non-ambiguous statement. I've done my works, I'm done here, and the reasons why it's all a wrap, and etc. As in the closure concluding statement from a year's labors, and to see what the response is to that. Well, yeah, a couple of friends in on private channels, DMs, responding, but as far as in the out in the open, nothing. Like on, and that's the gem of it. When that still at 3 days something remains the top entry on all platforms, and including my personal Facebook with whatever 900 folks, responses from a friend acquaintance from 30 years back who just now popped in to my circles recognized, are you the dude who was in the ashram like way back in the days? So he clicked a like on it and commented on, yeah, are you the dude? He's actually keen on making a documentary of my journey, so that's all very entertaining, but as in fresh in. And the other one, the mother of a long lost friend, a friend who I last met in Kathmandu 2008 from Bangladesh on a grand journey into the, well, apparently into the nevermind. So his mother, hoping to get in touch with me, clicked a like on my reel. Probably didn't watch it, but no matter. And those two are the entries, the interactions to the closing message, the closure, the final words that I had to share after a year's labors in what I considered a shared interest. So, you know, that kind of speaks for itself, and it's just hilarious as to how loudly all of it giggles in the books of Moot. So the scrolls have been read with a skim, and the details will be extracted as I get around to it to see the actual full measure of things. I mean, the picture is clear, but just to see the individuals in the, I do pretty much know it all from recall, but just to get the numbers crunched, right? It's a thing to do for reasons of supreme mootness, just to have the loose ends tied up. It's a Samantha Badra sort of thing. Gotta finish every last tick and tock in the boxes filled and demolished. So, alright, let's wrap that there. It's the book of Moot is being read, and we are at T plus plussing in the T tree of the ages. Alright, gonna sit down.